Well, with the rise of TikTok, kids are getting on social media at younger and younger ages. It's very scary, and that can have lifelong consequences. Joining our conversation is our 9 News parenting expert, Dr. Cheryl Ziegler. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Why is it so important to teach kids, even young kids, the importance of social media and what they share?
I think it's such a hard concept for them to understand that what they do, what they say is on a platform that lives forever, right? So it's not a little conversation in a bedroom that maybe there's only a rumor about. This is documented. And I think when we think about probably the average age of getting technology and being on social media is 10 at this point. So when you think about educating a 10-year-old.
10?
10, that's just average, right? So
that took me a second to process. That's unbelievable.
10. So it's really a matter of teaching them digital citizenship. I'm a big fan of that, starting at very young ages. Everything from how do you share a password or don't share a password, how do you get access, all the way up to how do you manage what you say and do. Is it offensive? So you have to think about some things. As a parent, you have to say to them, could it be offensive? Could anybody misunderstand what you're trying to say? Is what you're saying controversial? Do you need to share that with thousands or millions of people? Or could I give you a different, a safer place to do that?
And there's this rule of thought is I'll just wait until they come to me, or I'll wait till they're a certain age to have this discussion. That's not really true.
Not at all. I think, the notion of just teaching them how to be, or again, the proper term, sort of digital citizenship, starts with as soon as they're just even on an iPad, right? Like 2 years old, really. And it starts very simple, but if you do those things when they're young, you set them up for the greater success when they're a teenager, and now their brains are looking for high risk, high reward, right? So sometimes the more controversial, the more outlandish, that's what they're actually looking for biologically.
Yeah.
And so you have to teach them as a parent how to restrain themselves, which is actually a really hard task to do.
Absolutely. So I know that it's probably the conversation is different depending on the age, but let's say, 10 and up, how do you even have this conversation? How do you start it with your kid?
So one of the things to do is just blatantly say to them, let's think about last year, right? What was your favorite ice cream? Who was your best friend? What did you like, right? So there's a good chance you can ask them a question which the answer is different. Oh, last year it was vanilla, this year is chocolate. Right, so right now as you're growing and you're gonna grow into a teenager, your opinions and your thoughts are gonna change. And so do you think it's always a good idea to let the whole world know that this is your favorite or these are your strong opinions? Because they really might change. And so that's a good way at 10 to start entering into the conversation. Basically, you're saying to them, what you think today might change tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And that's part of being a child. That's what we want to celebrate. But what happens if you make a mistake, though, it's always going to be there. Right? And so you start that at 10. By the time they get to middle school, you start upping the ante. And by high school, you definitely say things like, if you're drinking, you're doing drugs, you're driving recklessly, if that's documented and put out there, you could lose a scholarship, you could lose admittance, you could not get a job. This will live forever, and now your social media profile is essentially like your resume. And you have to tell them that early. They have to hear that.
I think the part there is that kids think that if you post on TikTok or if you post on Snapchat, oh, it disappears or it goes away. It doesn't. It lives there forever. It will come back. It's always there. And there are plenty of examples of where consequences have happened because of something that they've done. Scholarships lost. I mean, it can get very serious. So I think this is an important discussion to have with any age with kids, because you're right. My 4-year-old has an iPad. So same thing.
Yep.
Geez, scary. Dr. Cheryl Ziegler, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.